So we are live. Hello,
All
everyone. This
right.
is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel. Welcome to an emergency episode of the Jeet Kune Dialogues, number 258, with my good friend Russell Dulay, coming in from California. Russell was kind enough to save my little butt, and
No, no, no.
when I revealed on Wednesday in the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast that plans for today's dialogue partner had fallen through. So thanks for saving me. Right, good to see you.
Likewise, likewise.
Even though you've lost a lot of weight since the last time I saw you, because what happened? What I mean,
Yeah, I cut like 10 pounds chopping off my hair.
man, what's the idea behind that?
Well, I had been growing my hair for 3 years, and that was more like a COVID thing. I was too lazy to go get it cut, and a lot of the barbershops were closed at the time, right?
Uh,
So
uh,
then, um, or when I was prepping for my tournament in November, my wife and I had a little joke that if I had lost, I should cut my ponytail off. Um, and I didn't want to do that.
that's a terrible.
So
That's a
that's a
terrible
horrible
deal.
idea.
Yes.
So, but my fight was competitive according to my friends, family, and everyone else there. So I shaved like one side of my head. And then I was going to Seattle in March, and I wanted to be symmetrical and look somewhat presentable, so I shaved the other side. And when I was in Seattle, I realized I forgot to pack a comb or a brush, so I was doing my hair with my fingers, and that was horrible. And I just decided, you know what? I'm two-thirds of the way there. When I
Oh
get back to
man.
California, I'm just gonna take it off, and I did.
Hey, you ever thought of going into politics? Because your what you just described there, it brings to mind two stories. There's a woman from where's Amy Klobuchar from? She's from Minnesota, I think, right? And she's the one that famously ate. She's a senator, I think, and she famously ate a salad with a comb one time, right? Because she didn't have a fork. And then Governor Ron DeSantis was recent here in Florida was recently accused of eating um, pudding with his three fingers, right? So,
That's adaptability, man. That's what it is.
yeah.
But
Right?
no,
And,
no politics for me. I skirt the line too much, so I ain't got time
oh,
for
okay.
that.
I hear you. I hear you. All right. So tell me about Seattle, because let's see. This was their third event, if I
This
remember
was
correctly.
their it's their fourth, I think.
Four.
Well, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's their fifth, excuse me.
Okay.
Um, instructor conference, and it's my third time attending in person, is what it was. So they
Okay.
started in 2019, and I started going in 2020, and obviously 2021 they didn't have an in-person one,
Right.
and then yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's their fifth, I believe.
All right. I was just going to ask you something about that, and then I thought, okay, that sounds similar, because when I tell the story about my trips to Seattle, it starts in 1980, my first visit to Bruce Lee's gravesite, and then I went out in 81, and I went out in 82, and then I skipped 83 because of the whole um, find the living source of Jeet Kune Do rather than the deceased source, and that's when I went
Mm.
to Inazano. All right. But what the heck was I going to ask you? Anyhow, so you are a JF GFI representative, right?
I am a level one affiliate now. Yes.
Okay, right, yeah. All right. So have you're part of the. I mean, you see my back and forth famously with Terry Valor and
Mhm.
Mark Black about the whole Jun Fan being a separate thing. How do you look at it?
Okay, so I subscribe to the idea. Like I think you put it this way, and I think Sifu Chris Camp put it this way also. Like there was no difference between like Monday and Tuesday when the name changed, right? The name
Yes, because
just
I stole
changed.
that from Chris Ken.
Okay, so you're a plagiarist. That's all. That's all right. Apparently, Bruce Lee was a plagiarist also. Or no, he was a paraphraser. Excuse me. Um, but I look at it that way. Now, the only if I were to pick a difference, it would be that when I'm with the Seattle bunch, we spend, like the first half doing like training from the dingbo, right? So we're like
Hmm.
80% of our weight's on that back leg as opposed to being 50-50. And that would probably be the only thing that I would say is different. And also when we work the dingbo, we've also talked about sidestepping is different, right? So
How
um,
so?
when we as it is now, right, the foot closer to the direction that we want to move moves first if we sidestep. If I want to move right,
Hmm.
right foot first. If I move left, left foot first.
Hmm.
Now, during, and if any of my seniors want to correct me, by all means feel free, but my understanding was, back then, instead of going left foot first to move left, you would actually move your right foot first so you wouldn't expose your groin.
Okay.
And as Jeet Kune Do had evolved, obviously, the emphasis went more toward mobility, right? Being able to
Right.
hit and move, being able to move proficiently.
Right.
So instead of crossing our feet, we started doing, that little side step. So
Hmm.
that's where it changed. And Sifu Andy likes to point out they're both good for different reasons. It's just important to understand when you would do one versus the other.
Yeah. Hey, so is it correct to say Ding Bo in Jun Fan and Bai Zhong in Jeet Kune Do?
Uh, I mean, you could say that. I mean, but it's all the same to me, man. I'm training, right? It's the big thing I like to go back to is when you're training Jeet Kune Do, whenever you're training, or if you're training Jun Fan Kung Fu, you want to be proficient in the fight, right? I don't
Right.
care. Um, Not that, again, it's not that I don't have form, because obviously there's some form involved. I have to have good structure, etc. But I'm not too concerned about, oh, is my elbow in line with my wrist so it makes that perfect, compound hook or what have you. It's, can I fight and defend myself in that moment of time? Now,
Hmm.
whether I'm doing that from Dingbo or doing that from Jeet Kune, or excuse me, doing that from Baizhang is not important. What's important is I defended myself and I reacted naturally, right? I wasn't in my own head. So
Right.
to me, it's
Yeah.
all Jeet Kune Do.
Well, see, now that's the thing, right? See, but you can only say that. You can only make that statement. It's all Jeet Kune Do in certain company because
Okay.
in certain company you make that statement and it's not a big deal. Everybody understands what you mean. You're
Hmm.
talking about immediacy of situation, right? It's like who is it? I'm trying to remember. It might have been Inosano, and he used to make the analogy of learning to drive. When you start learning to drive, you're the most uncoordinated thing ever,
Hmm.
right? And now you start practicing, and then years later, you're you're changing the radio station. Well, not nowadays because there's no radio stations or whatever, right? That just shows you how old I am,
How
right?
old we
But
are? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
okay, but the thing is, you're fidgeting with the. Now I sound like Joe Biden. We've gotten off to the wrong start with all the political references here, Russell. Uh,
It's all
right?
Jeet Kune Do. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you're fiddling with the radio and the cassette player and whatever. I'm doing that deliberately. All right, I know that nobody has a cassette player anymore. While using your left knee, right,
Mm.
on the steering wheel, because you need your hands, right, to fidget.
Sure.
You were never taught that,
No.
but you're being effective,
Hmm.
right? You're being proficient in getting where the heck it is that you're going. So you
Yes.
can say that, you can make that statement, it's all Jeet Kune Do to me, but only in certain company, because in other company, where are they going to go? They're going to accuse you of saying that everything is Jeet Kune Do, which is not what you said,
No.
right? You said it's all Jeet Kune Do.
Hmm.
Is it right? And it's so sad. It's so sad that we still have this struggle and this battle to to you know rewire people's way of thinking and looking at these things and what have you, right? Okay, so something just flashed across my screen. I'm going to put it up and
Okay.
ask you what you can you see it?
Sifu, what makes Jeet Kune Do Jeet Kune Do?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Right. All right. Um, well, now that you actually said it out loud, I will turn it into a question for you. But I was very annoyed on Wednesday.
Oh, because no one had talked about it, right?
Well, not no 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 no. No, forget the wording.
Okay.
Look at the picture itself.
Okay.
What do you see? Maybe it's not big enough for you to or
Yeah,
clear
I'm
enough for
getting
you to see it.
old. I'm getting old, Sifu. I gotta.
Oh, okay.
But
Wait,
it
let me
looks
see.
like Bruce, or in a Bruce equivalent, right? Talking to. If I'm going by that side profile, I almost want to say that's like vintage Sigung Dan, but I don't know.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And nobody commented on the picture, right? So then I thought, man, I suck at podcasting because top podcasters, whatever they do, whatever they say, whatever they put up, there's always people commenting on it. Bang, 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 like this, you know?
Mhm.
So I'm like, damn, Dwight, you still got work to do, right? To become, to truly become the Joe Rogan of Jeet Kune podcasting. I'm telling you, right? My Lord.
We're taking
Um,
steps. That's what's important. Progress, right?
yeah. I mean, look, this is the thing, right?
Mhm.
Everybody knows that overnight success takes, like a decade.
Sure.
Everybody knows that,
Hmm.
right? It's just while you're going through it. So okay, so now answer the question: what makes Jeet Kune Jeet Kune?
Proficiency and efficiency is my straightforward answer there. Because you're.
Hmm.
Oh, go ahead. Sounds
No,
like
no,
you got it.
no, 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 no. I'm going to let you dig your hole, and then I'll see if
Oh,
I need
okay.
to.
All right.
I'll
Yeah.
see if I need to rescue you or not.
Probably. I'm small fish. I'm the young gun. I'm the young gun here. And before I continue, I feel like I'm probably your youngest guest. I don't know how old Kevin Lee is, uh, but yeah,
um, y'all are probably the same age. Kevin's. Wait. Well, it depends.
I'm
Are you
turning
30?
33.
Are you 30 yet?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm 33 in
Um,
May.
yeah, Kevin, y'all are probably the same age.
Okay.
So have I ever had anybody? Mike Yuski might be that same kind of age.
Hmm.
Um, it's hard. I was going through files the other day and realized that I'm going into the fifth year of doing this.
Wow.
Yeah, the fifth year. I go, damn, that's that's a lot of talk.
There you go. You're halfway there. You're halfway to that decade, man.
Right? Yeah, I'm halfway there to overnight success, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, you're definitely one of the youngest for sure,
Hmm.
for sure.
Thank you.
Right?
It means
You know.
it's a good something to put on my resume, right?
Oh
So.
yeah, yeah. I think it's I talked about this one time because I was lamenting the fact that so many people lament about the disappearance of Jeet Kune Do. How, oh, there's always so much bickering, Jeet Kune Do is bound to disappear and whatever. And I'm thinking, who are these idiots,
If we're
right?
talking about it, it's still there, man.
Right? But
Um,
not only that, when you are a Jeet Kune Do instructor yourself, what are you saying? You're saying that all your efforts, your day to day efforts, your present day efforts are for naught because
hmm.
you're teaching this Jeet Kune Do thing, but it's going to disappear like the planet in another 10 years because of climate change, right?
We're going off track,
You
Sifu.
started this. You started this.
No,
You're right.
I
Yeah, you're
I
the
turned a
you're
little bit to the right. You're
yep.
you're drifting that direction. That's all.
You're the one that brought up all the political references, right? Yeah. So it's like don't they see the irony in what they're saying? I
Hmm.
teach it, I train it, I'm passing it on to the future generation, but it's going to disappear. That's bogus. That's so stupid.
Right.
You know. But
Mhm.
that's the thing about JKD, because it is a constantly evolving process. A lot of people don't realize that years from that almost from year to year, your understanding of this, as Chris Kent would say, this animal called Jeet Kune grows.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
it's now. I'm sure I'll pick on my favorite my favorite target. People in Shotokan grow from year to year. I'm sure they do.
Mhm.
However, what they do, how they train, to the best of my understanding, I could be dead wrong about this, doesn't change. It's still Heian Shodan first before anything else, right? Your Kihon, all your basic stuff. We should ask Bill Singh,
We should.
right?
Bill, if you're watching,
Yeah, he oh
chime
he'll
in.
he no he'll tune in for this one. Okay.
We yeah, no,
Right?
every time we're in Seattle together, we have a little impromptu, we call it our secret Jikundo dialogue. Uh,
Hmm. No,
and we're
hey,
like
makes perfect
Dwight, we got to
sense.
tell Dwight to come down and have fun one of these years.
Makes perfect sense. Well, look, I can say this to you because, and for those of you who don't know, when a few weeks ago, when the YouTube said, "Okay, Dwight, you can now start offering memberships and sponsorships and what have you," Russell, bless your heart, was the first person, the absolute first person to become a member of the Jeet Kune Do channel, YouTube channel, and I appreciate that from the depths of my heart. Um,
My
so,
pleasure.
and so I've told you, imagine this, right? Since Wilfred Sang will not submit to Wi-Fi on a Friday evening with me, imagine if we had, right,
Hmm.
300 people as sponsors of the program.
Hmm.
Next year in Seattle, I could show up with my camera, my microphone, and force him, right?
I don't know about force, but you have a
Okay,
very
right?
strong
Yeah,
chance of
no,
getting it done. Yeah.
no. Here's how you do it, right? You go live in the camera, right? You live stream, and you
Yeah.
have the microphone, and you just shove everything in his face, and you go right, and you go. We're live in Seattle with Wilfred Sang, and we take it from there, right?
That'll be that's a dream. That's a good dream, man.
I'm
That's a good
telling
dream,
you,
and it
I'm
should
telling you,
become reality. I'm not.
right?
If Bill's watching, I'm not putting pressure on you, homie. I'm just saying
Yeah. Oh no,
that
I
would.
mean, there's a couple other people. There's a couple other people that I would love to do that to, right?
Mhm.
Like I'd love to do that to Steve Golden, because he's another one
Mm.
that I keep trying to trick him to come on the show, and he has nothing to do with it. Um,
Mhm.
when we were out in Reseda a couple of years ago, even Glenn tried to shame my favorite Canadian Jeet Kune Do senior, right, into
Mhm.
coming onto the show. And we got him to say, all right, he'll come on episode 300,
Okay.
right? So we're
Sure.
at 258. So we got another 42 weeks. So we got almost a year, right? Right? And I guarantee you, when it's time for episode 300, he'll weasel his way out of it somehow,
Mhm.
somehow, right? But that's okay. That's
That
okay.
is okay.
I can I continue to brainstorm, about ways to just make it, because we were having this discussion
Mm.
just last night, right?
Okay.
Um, I envy people like you who grew up with the internet and social media,
Mm.
because there's no learning curve for you guys. I mean, we have 3-year-olds now who can control YouTube. They know
Mhm.
more about you than I will ever know. Your kids probably know stuff. You,
They definitely do. Yeah.
right? A 14-year-old kid showed me the other day how to swipe on the iPhone to get the video to come up without having to put the code in that you could just
Oh,
open. I didn't know anything about
right.
that. right? You know what I mean? So it is now. I love the challenge of it. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
because I'm an information and knowledge junkie, right? So I love learning about this stuff. But man, I still envy people for whom it's just first nature. You know, they just go like that. And it's just like,
Yeah,
oh well, you just this and this and this and this and this, and also it to a certain degree, it is the idea of getting used to it. You know
sure. Yeah.
that it is required that you post on. You know, the I'll tell you this. I heard somebody the other day talking about IG. I'm like, what the hell is IG? Right? You know, right?
Right.
So, so
Man, that one got me.
right. So he said if you're watching, did he say if you're watching or if you're on IG, go to my bio. Is that what he
Mhm.
said? Or go to the link to my bio. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I discovered what it is because I went to his website and I'm like, oh, but I should have known because there's IG. Is there still IGTV or is that gone now?
Um, I think that might be gone, and it's just reels now. So
Right. So okay. So Reels on Instagram is the equivalent of Shorts on the YouTube, right?
yes,
Okay. So everything is only like 30 seconds.
reels now can go up to 90 seconds because I just did that. So
I can't keep up. I can't. Yeah, I saw your. It was a messing around kind of day.
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw that.
Yesterday was a bad day. It wasn't a bad day. We were both just we just needed to do some fun stuff yesterday. So we were just, all right, let's do some of this, some of that, and run the camera. And some stuff I didn't post because it's straight trash. Colorado Love You, but it was not good.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, when I was doing the workshop up in Inverness, Sean
Mhm.
Rudy and the crew from Ninja and Anna from Core
Court.
JKD came by, right? And we did some stuff. And man, I told him if I ever find out where all their equipment is stored, I am going to break in and steal it all.
It's on the
They got
internet now, Sifu.
uh,
I said your confession is on the internet now.
yeah,
So
but did you see the deep fakes of Trump being arrested in New York?
no,
Okay, so if
I don't follow
anything,
politics, man. I can't do it anymore.
right? So if anything happens, I'll just go, it's not me. If right, if the
Mm.
break-in and everything is captured on video, I'll go, that's not me. I'll use
Yeah,
what's
but I mean, you're talking about it now too, though. Like, oh no,
yeah,
I'll just say it wasn't me.
yeah,
And it's like,
right. And because that's the perfect way to set somebody up. That's the perfect way for one of my enemies to set me up. See how it
mhm,
works?
sure,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's the
You're just giving
shaggy
them ammo,
defense.
but there you
Hmm.
go.
It's the
There you
shaggy
go.
defense, right? Okay, so so let's talk. Let's talk about. Let's see.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
What's
sorry.
yeah,
What makes Jeet Kune Do, Sifu?
yeah. Well, wait. Did you answer that?
I said it was efficiency and proficiency, and then we talked about my age, and here we are. So
Oh well, okay. Well, I don't like that answer.
okay, it's all about
I
growth.
request that you go deeper than that.
Okay,
That's how I
well,
get myself out of a tight spot.
that's how I got. Well, I was like, see, I was trying to do the same thing, but you caught me. Um,
Yeah.
well, so for what makes you can well, uh, let me think here because
Hmm.
I'm young and I'm not quite as developed as you guys.
No,
Um,
yeah, we'll say that.
yeah. Well, if the way I'm interpreting the question, which may not be the way it's being asked, is what sets Jeet Kune Do apart from other things? Because if Jeet Kune Do is Jeet Kune Do, then it's not X, Y, and Z, right?
Hmm.
So that's how I'm interpreting it. So if you're asking it a different way, well, we'll get to it.
Okay.
But for me,
We'll
it's
get.
about that
Okay. Okay.
efficiency and proficiency, right? Because you want to be well rounded. You want to be able to defend yourself in a situation of duress. Okay.
Right.
Now, um, because Jeet Kune Do is about being efficient and well-rounded, it's also scientific, right? Because you're looking at new ways to train, or maybe not new ways to train, but you're looking at the science of the fight. And if the landscape of violence continues to change, then the science behind the fight has to change too, or it's changed because of that. Excuse me.
Mhm.
Now, it would be wrong of me, in my opinion, to say, "Oh, I do Jeet Kune Do. I look at efficiency of movement, simplicity, directness, etc., and then just ignore everything else because I know Jeet Kune Do has these core components, right? But I don't know what I don't know, and the process of science, or the going by science, science always changes, right? We get new information, we refine, we research, we
Mhm.
refine, we research and refine. So if
Mhm.
I continue to look at what I have, I am denying myself all of that other information. And that's not to say I take all that information and I incorporate it. Well, no, I look at the common threads, I do my research, I apply that research, I refine, isolate, integrate, implement, right?
Yeah.
As I think Sifu Mark Stewart says, and Sifu Burton Richardson, right? But
And you know where they
it,
got that from, right?
no.
Matt Thornton.
Oh, did they?
Or it was a collaboration between the three of them.
I don't know. I mean, it could be. I
Yeah.
don't know where they got it from. I just
Well,
heard it from them, and
I'll
I'm
put
like,
it.
I like it. So
I'll put it to you this way. Matt Thornton is where I first heard it,
okay.
and we know that Mark and Matt, Bert
Mhm.
and Matt, all have relationship.
Yes, yes.
You know, so I mean,
Hmm.
I stole it from him. So
Hmm. And I mean, I love Matt Thorne's Straight Blast Jim, right? That's a
mhm.
great name. That's a great name.
It is,
Um,
which is why he never dropped it,
right,
even
right,
if he may have dropped other aspects.
sure.
Right? He never dropped it because it's a good name
Yeah, and I
for
mean,
sure.
and I might be reaching here, but if I am, so be it. But that's like another aspect of Jeet Kune Do, right? If I decide to drop something, right, it's because I found it not relevant to today's landscape of violence, right?
Mhm.
Um, but what I do keep is what I like and what I think is effective. He likes the name Straight Blast Jim. Maybe didn't like the trap in, or I'm not trying to speak for Matt Thornton. I would never do that,
Yeah,
right? But it's like that, okay?
yeah,
And it's the same thing. That's why I love Jeet Kune Do personally, because it's circular. I mean, you're constantly researching and refining, and if you're doing that, you're never going to reach the end, right?
right.
Um, and it's not about reaching the end. It's
Yeah, but
just
see, you're
go ahead.
talking, Russell. You're talking about the true science there, right? There are other people who believe that the science of Jeet Kune Do is settled because
It can't
Bruce
be.
Lee. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Bruce Lee did all the work. Remember, Bruce Lee is the one who brought the scientific aspect to it. He's the one who studied biomechanics and kinesiology and whatever and whatever. So
Hmm.
he did all of it, and then he presented it to whomever. So it's
Sure.
done. There's no need now, right? No, seriously, seriously, there's no need. Bruce Lee did the groundwork, set up the blueprint, and what have you. And now we just
Hmm.
have to follow whatever it is that he taught to somebody, and then that person taught it to us, and we're good.
I mean, like, I'm not trying to talk trash because I don't know what I don't know. I just said it, right? So
Right.
I mean, I I can see the argument, and I don't want to say I agree with the argument, but I can see it, right?
Yeah.
But there's like it's those people, and I'm not talking trash, but it's like those people that say, oh, this, like, if you have a differing opinion, right? Oh, this guy thinks he knows more than Bruce Lee because he's saying something else about the truth of the fight. Well, I
Mhm.
would like to think I know more because he was 32 when he died, right?
Right.
So like,
So you're older than him now,
yeah, I mean, like,
right?
why would I not know more? And if I don't know more, should I not strive to learn more? And I'm
Yeah.
not saying to, compile a bunch of crap together. I'm just saying I should continue to look at the landscape of
Yeah.
reality, and that's all
It's
there is
all,
to it.
yeah, it's almost as if, um, it's like saying, well, we cannot we can't possibly compose any new music because everything, all the notes and what have you, all that stuff is already settled. All that stuff already exists. So there's no way that we can compose anything new because, well, it's all been done already. You know, that's one way that I look at it. The other way I look at it is this. So one of my favorite jazz tunes, and I got into the whole idea of jazz and Jeet Kune through Dan Inosanto,
Okay.
right? And what he says about jazz in the Art and Philosophy book, right? And so it makes perfect sense to me. So one of my favorite tunes in as a wannabe drummer is Take Five from the Dave Brubeck 1959 album.
Hmm.
So I go around the internet trying to find as many versions of Take Five as I can find. You
Okay.
know, so most recently, even this one, I've had it for a few years. But you know who Tito Puente is? Do
I
you
do
have
not.
any idea? Okay, all right. So Tito Puente is Latin jazz, right? Well-known timbalero, Latin jazz. So there's a Latin jazz version of Take Five.
Okay.
It's the same song, right? It's the same
Hmm.
song, but now it's Latin jazzed up. Then I found, now I have no idea why the title has been changed. There's a reggae version, right?
Okay.
Instrumental and predominantly saxophone driven. And for some reason, they called it "The Russians Are Coming." I don't know why, right? Right? But it's again, it's the same song,
Hmm.
just treated differently. And I think about Jeet Kune Do like that. When you think about, okay, well, there's Jerry Poteet interpretation, right? There's Steve Golden interpretation. There's Ted Wong interpretation, whatever. Same song,
Hmm.
right? Everybody plays it a little bit differently.
Hmm.
And for me, as somewhat of a music aficionado, I see it. I see that JKD relevance in jazz music because of how many people there's a thing called a jazz standard. So if you take
Okay.
a song like Moanin', right, which I might have been an Art Blakey composition, now I can't remember, but there's clifford there's a Clifford Brown version of it, there's a Miles Davis version of it. And the thing about it is that, if I have the name correctly, the thing about it is that when Miles Davis recorded it, Clifford Brown was the trumpeter playing alongside him, right? So
Okay.
again, right, it's interwoven, you see,
Hmm.
and so whenever I delve into jazz, I see Jeet Kune Do over and over and over again, right? Now, were you around when I did that famous thing where I took an article by Nicholas Payton, the jazz trumpeter, and I changed jazz to Jeet Kune Do, and I changed Miles to Bruce Lee, and then I asked the question. I put it out on the internet, and I asked the question: when do you think Dan Inosanto might have said this? Do you know about that?
No, I don't. Like it
Oh
sounds like
yeah,
something you would do, right? And
right.
did.
And
Right.
I had people imagining all kind of stuff,
Hmm.
right? And it was completely made up, but it made perfect sense
Hmm.
the way Nicholas Payton was describing jazz versus the way that somebody like Dan Inosanto might have described Jeet Kune Do. And that's still one of the aspects that I find um, fascinating as hell, right? And so if you could do that with music, why can't you do it with other martial art methods also? Why can't you go into other martial art methods
Hmm.
looking for commonality, the same way you would go into music looking for commonality,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And then extracting from that other music form what is personally appealing to you and what you can make use of. Why can't you do that with other martial art and make that part of your Jeet Kune Do process? What say you?
Yeah, yeah. Why can't you do that, Sifu? No, um, I mean, my boxing, my ghost coach, Jake Clark. He when he talks about boxing and ghost, he's like, well, everyone has the same tools, right? You have the
Yeah.
jab, cross, hook. If you go into the kickboxing, you have the round kick, push kick, side kick, etc. But everyone has a different flavor, right? And if you learn it one way and you stick to that, then you're not exposed to those other flavors of expression.
Hmm.
And that may, not that you always go to it, but for that one guy who's just guarding everything, maybe you need that stupid wide over. And I hate the overhand punch, I do, but maybe you need that stupid wide overhand, and it just gets through because they're just not used to it, right?
Yeah.
And an overhand is a variation of a cross and a hook. It just comes from another line, right?
Hmm.
So it's same punch, different application, different setup. That's
Yeah.
all it is. So,
What about coming across people whose punching system
mhm,
is is not quite boxing oriented? I mean, they do jab,
mhm,
they do cross, they do hook, but it doesn't look exactly like Western boxing to which we are used,
okay.
right?
Sure.
But it's efficient as hell.
Efficient as in it scores,
Oh
or
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
right? You see? But it doesn't fall under the Western boxing, fencing, um, and Wing Chun stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Right. So what now? Because earlier on you said, as part of the JKD process, different ways to train and what have you. What if you come across a technical base, right, from
Hmm.
way outside anything with which you're familiar? And then there's also a thing of how to use the body, right, when you punch. You
Hmm.
see, because what's one of the things that we've discovered, that old school boxing, there's a lot of stuff that has been lost, right?
Sure.
Yeah. You see, a lot of stuff that has been lost. So what if all the secrets, all the secret knowledge has not yet been uncovered?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Right? Because you think we know everything there is to know, or everything useful there is to know from a JKD perspective about fencing?
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean,
Oh,
I
was that
have
a
no idea.
question?
Yeah, that
Okay.
was a question.
Oh, sorry.
You didn't
Um,
hear the interrogatory tone?
um, no, I mean, uh, my answer is no. I mean, how can we know everything about one part of a whole? Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's a horrible way to phrase it, but um, for no, no, I don't think we could know everything about the Jeet Kune Do aspect of fencing, or the fencing aspect as seen in Jeet Kune Do. Um, just because, I mean, oh, here we go. So, if Jeet Kune Do is also about the individual, right? There is the science to it. There is, right? We're looking at
Yeah.
efficiency of movement. We're looking at the best way to move, but it is also on the individual, right? My body type is different from yours. Some people taller, shorter, stronger, whatever, whatever.
Mhm.
If Jeet Kune Do is about the individual, then someone's expression or flavor to the art is gonna be different than another person's. And in that particular situation, we may be able to glean information that makes a particular technique more efficient, right? Just because you're tall, you're probably not going to do something the way I do, right? I mean, that's the nature to it. But maybe you'll find someone who's just an absolute freaking nature and is way taller than you, right? Now you come to good old Russell and say, Russell, how have you been fighting me all these years? Well,
Mhm.
I got to look at distance, timing, and rhythm, right? And now it's like, okay, well, maybe instead of throwing that straight, I'm coming off the angle and throwing it a little bit more off to the side, right?
Mhm.
Um, and now you're taking something from me which might not be as efficient for you, but now you're fighting someone else who's again a freak of nature,
Right. So
and
it
now it
turns it
applies to
turns
you,
me into you.
right?
Right.
But you aren't me. You're
Right.
you in a
But
different
now,
situation.
yeah, but that's where adaptability comes in.
Sure.
Right? So that's why now, of course, somebody might take offense to this, but I said it last night to who did I say it to? Glenn, I think it was. I said it to Glenn. I because yesterday was Muay Thai Thursday, so I
Okay.
said, Glenn, you have to embrace your inner Thai, right? Okay.
Mhm.
It's like sometimes I say to people go, well, how come you look the way you look when you do Kali? And I go, well, because I embrace my inner Filipino. Okay, and some people take offense to that, but it's a signal, right?
Mhm.
Those words send a signal to my brain that I must look a certain way in order to move a certain way. And in all honesty, part of that means not being the height that I am.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Mhm, mhm.
Right now somebody is gonna take offense to that, right? Oh, he's a little Filipino. Just shut the hell up, right? because because if my role model for the look of Filipino Kali is a shorter than me Filipino guy named Dan Inasano, then that's what it is. That's what I'm gonna embrace,
Sure.
right? If my role model for the look of Jeet Kune is a shorter than me, 50 years deceased Chinese American guy named Bruce Lee, that's how it is. I'm
Mhm,
using these things. I'm not trying to be them. I'm using these things as guidelines, as role models.
mhm,
It's how you get, it's how you work yourself into a state of mind that
mhm,
allows you to produce what it is that you're trying to produce. It's
mhm.
almost acting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although I don't know anything about acting, which is why I only do stunts.
I was about to say. That's all right. That's a
Right?
form of acting. You got to act hurt, man.
Yeah, I saw that the other day that because I think in whenever the hell it gets released, I think we are listed, me, Victor Young, um, Donald Brooks. I think we are listed as stunt actors.
Why not, man? There's a
Yeah,
level of acting to that.
yeah, but I mean, I thought acting involved dialogue. You know, you had to say something.
No,
Oh,
if you can
maybe the grunting that you do when you're fighting, maybe that's the dialogue, and that's why
yeah,
you're.
speak with your emotions, Sifu. You
Yeah,
can emote, right?
yeah.
That's a
No,
form of acting.
I actually got coached on that because
Oh,
you
did
know
you?
me. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I'm silent. If I'm trying to be deadly, right, I am not advertising my deadliness, right?
Right.
So they were like, no, 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 no. You gotta, especially if you get hit, right? Because I get my head smashed into the bar. So,
Mhm. But what about for the movie? Oh, sorry. It
right?
was it was an easy setup. So
Yeah, that was pretty good. You had me thinking for a second. I was like, wait, what does Russell know about me that I don't that I try not to reveal? Damn, right? Um, don't make me go off on a tangent here about my first experience of a bar in the United States. I
it is your show, Sifu. You can do whatever you want.
It's my show, but you're my dialogue partner, so it's not
We're
it's not
talking. I
about me.
mean,
Hey, okay, so here was something that I wanted to would you agree? Because we were talking about this just the other day. I think it was
okay.
that Enter the Dragon
Um,
is still the go-to um, action film.
it is for me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that the way. Well, I want to make sure I'm speaking accurately here, um, because you know, because you're you and I'm me.
Right, right.
Um, the I am a big fan of old school martial arts films, right? And back then, you're looking at Bruce Lee films, you're looking at old school Jackie Chan films, none of the new stuff like New Police Story and things like that. But
Hmm.
you're looking at wide angles, right?
Hmm.
And I love what Jackie Chan says. He's like, "Oh, you can see my feet. Look, I got to make my feet look pretty when I end this movement." And then like most movies today, like Taken, which I really enjoy, and that's not really today. That's like over 10 years old now that I think about it. But Taken, you have those close range shots, and they end super efficiently, but the camera's moving everywhere, and I
Right.
don't get to see the art of the fight. I get to see the fight, and it's cool, and I
Hmm.
enjoy it, but I don't get to see um, the beauty behind it, as it were.
Hmm.
Right
Hmm.
now, and I'm biased. I am, and I recognize this. But with Enter the Dragon, the we have those wide angle shots, right? I get to see the movement. I get to see everything move, right? But we also have like some of those close up shots. Bruce Lee getting cut, landing that side kick, right? Um, but those are so clean and so smooth that it doesn't take away from the action, right?
Right.
So you're letting the action speak for itself, and that to me is great. um, so for me, I'm biased, but I'm not wrong, right? That's it should be the standard as far as allowing the action to speak for itself, as opposed to doing all this
Yeah.
fancy camera work, flashing lights, shaky cam,
Okay. I'm
etc.
going to tell you something, right? But just
Sure.
keep this between me and you,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Cut the stream.
I I'm bored by John Wick.
What? I haven't seen the fourth one. Then again, I watched the first three, like maybe I think last year actually, while Michaela was deployed. And I think you made a comment on my Facebook and you're like, "Yeah, there's a whole franchise or whatever called The Matrix." I was like, "Oh yeah, the one where Frodo, or excuse me, Harry Potter has to take the ring to Mount Doom and yada yada yada." And you're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, that sounds like that could be three separate franchises." But I
Yeah.
digress.
Yeah.
You're bored to death by John Wick.
I'm not bored to death, but I'm not seeing anything that excites me the way original Matrix. Like I never watched Matrix 2 and Matrix 3. No, that's not true. We went to see Matrix 2. I never watched Matrix 3, and I would not watch Matrix 2 again. I'll just watch the original.
You sound like my philosophy professor. It's like,
Okay?
go ahead.
Yeah, because that one was groundbreaking. Um, First John Wick. I think I saw John Wick 2 before I saw John Wick 1. I don't even remember.
Okay.
Right? But to me now it's just the same thing over and over again. There's
Sure.
nothing different. Right? There's nothing different, and so I'm bored by it. I saw the previews. I watched some behind the scenes stuff and whatever, and I'm like, there's no need to rush to the
Okay.
theater
Mhm.
to watch this. I can wait until it comes out or whatever,
Mhm.
right? It's like the one Taken. So hasn't Liam Neeson done the same movie 45 times, just different
Uh,
titles,
yeah.
all
Aside from
based
taking
on
three, and
all
then you
all
have like
based on Taken number one?
uh like typecast, yeah. Like you have the commuter, right? And you have the honest thief and X, Y, and Z. Yeah, yeah.
How come
I
you
mean,
know all of them?
I'm a Liam Neeson fan.
Mm,
I haven't seen
okay.
all of them, but for that very same reason, because um, well, I want to see them because I
Yeah.
enjoy it, and it's
Hey, are you old enough to have seen or know about Rob Roy?
Rob Roy,
Yeah.
not by name or title.
Wow. You're a Liam Neeson fan, huh?
What's the next question you got, Sifu?
Yeah. See. Now, this is the problem I have with you young people, right? You'll go, oh, yeah, I'm a big fan. And then
Oh, hold on. Oh,
somebody,
I didn't say I was a big fan. I said I was a fan.
Oh, no, nope, nope. Can't take it back now.
I didn't say
Right?
big fan,
Nope, nope,
Seafood.
nope, nope. Can't take it back
I'm not
now.
taking
Right?
anything back. I
You
said
see, and then
fan.
somebody from another generation will ask you something, and then it's revealed that you're a surface dweller fan. You're not a you're not a deep level fan.
Okay. So we're gonna talk about this for a second here.
Okay.
See, this is what turns people off from Jeet Kune Do, right? Oh, you're a Jeet Kune Do fan? Tell me
Yes.
about X, Y, and Z. And I'm poking fun, of course, right?
But so now here's the thing, right? Okay. So somebody says, yeah, no, I'm really into Bruce Lee and Jeet Kune Do. And you go, okay. Well, tell me about the XY letter.
Oh,
And they're like, what? No, listen. Okay. This is the last political reference, right? So there's a guy, there's a guy who is up for nomination for some judgeship, I think. He's
okay.
currently a judge, like a district judge or whatever. And so Senator John Kennedy asked him, what is a Brady action? Now, apparently, if you're a lawyer, a judge, a whoever, right, you got to know what the Brady action is. The guy has no freaking clue. But there's no lawyer worth his or her salt, right? Far less a judge that does not automatically know what Brady action is. That would be like, yeah, I'm a big fan of Jeet Kune Do. You go, oh, okay. And Jeet Kune Do translates into
Mm.
The style of Bruce Lee. Shut up, right?
I hear you. No,
Right?
that
You
gets
see,
a little bit of rage. Yeah, sure.
yeah, yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. No, I mean, look, people don't. We don't have to be. We don't have to be at the level where we know what Bruce Lee's shoe size was, right?
Mhm.
Because that's a different thing. Okay. We
It's a
don't have to
9.
know.
I'm just
Yeah,
joking. I don't know if that's
right.
true.
We don't have to know shoe size. We don't have to know inseam, right, and what have you. Although, I'll be honest, I envy people who can just spit out, oh, he
Mhm.
was here on that date, right, at that
Mhm.
time. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn,
Hey,
right?
that's nice, right?
Yeah, I envy those people, but then I cover up that envy by saying it's not important.
I mean,
Right?
it's not right,
Yeah,
but it's cool. It's nice to be able to just bam, bam, bam,
yeah.
right?
I think that that there's nothing wrong with having all of that, but
Mhm.
then if all of that leads you to a place of stagnation, right?
Mm. Mhm.
Okay, then it indicates that you never really got Bruce Lee's message. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know all the details. Okay,
Mhm.
you're inspired by him. He's a role model. All that and all that stuff is good,
Mhm.
but you missed the message.
Mhm.
The probably what could be the most important aspects of what Bruce Lee was put on the planet to deliver to the world. You haven't quite clued in on that.
Mhm.
But again, I might just be saying that because I envy people who know what his inseam measurement was, right?
Well,
They know the size. They know the size of his forearm. They know the size of his bicep. All that stuff, right?
mhm. I mean, yeah. I mean, I love spitting out facts too, right? But it's the message and the ideas certainly probably deserves more weight than the
Well,
other
yeah.
information.
Okay. Well, okay. So, what objectively,
Sure.
right? What's what's the most important thing, or what are the important things, right? Or what's the spiritual reason behind Bruce Lee being, a famous member of that 30 something club? Come in, upset the world, take off. Why?
I'm sorry. You said why is that important?
Yeah, I
Or,
mean,
or
what are yeah, what's some of the important factors behind that?
Well, his outlook and approach on martial art is a big one, right? The excuse me, the philosophy behind his methodology, I would say, because that was different, right?
Right. And might that not be the most important aspect for those of us left behind?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah. See? So now we'll forget politics and we'll go religion. But so this is where now Bruce Lee, as a famous member of the 30 something club, can be analogous to Jesus Christ in terms of philosophy, message, misinterpretation of message, discipleship, um, long lasting inspiration, and whatever and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now there are some people who will crucify you for making those kinds of comparisons or contrasts because there are certain you're there's I guess there are certain directions in which you're not supposed to go. That's ridiculous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure Bruce Lee, if he was a, if he, if well, no, Bruce Lee wherever he is, he doesn't have a problem with it. I'm pretty sure Jesus wherever he is, he doesn't have a problem with it either because they can understand the philosophical underpinnings
Mm-hmm.
of that aspect of human existence.
Yes.
You see, because
Mm-hmm.
there are people that come in, shine bright, lead the way, and what have you, and then take off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right? Which then brings me to the whole point of, do you remember when I did the podcast about the difference between being a keeper of the flame
And
and a fire starter?
I remember the topic. Yeah.
Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That to me, and I don't remember where, no, I don't remember whence came that realization, but that to me was a profound realization
Mm-hmm.
because Bruce Lee was not the keeper of a flame. He was a fire starter.
Mm-hmm.
So I think to be true to his legacy, that's what we're supposed, because like you said, right? Jeet Kune is the art of the individual, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Individual fire starters. All of us,
Mm-hmm.
every single one of us, because we're all unique, right? The
Mm-hmm.
only valuable thing I ever got from Oprah Winfrey was,
Sorry.
right, was a show that she used to have, and it said, I think the tagline for it was, um, "Every life has a story, and every story has a message."
Mm.
Okay, now I could steal that as a tagline for the Jeet Kune dialogues because everybody that comes on here and is a dialogue partner of mine is unique because even if we came across somebody else named Russell Dulay,
Mm-hmm.
it's not you. So his story is going to be different from yours.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Even
sir.
if he's a martial artist, even if he's a Jeet Kune martial artist,
Mm-hmm.
still not you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very important. That's very valid, which is not valid, can't be
No.
qualified. Very valid as opposed to what? Not as valid? I don't know. Whatever. I have a good friend who um, when people say very unique, right? She's like ready to slap the crap out of them. And I am when people say close proximity,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. There can be another type of proximity? I don't think so, right? But that's because, I have a lot of time on my hands to be annoyed by people and their idiocy, right? Did somebody just say something about can you see the comments?
I can.
Okay. Um,
They all say that I'm the best guest ever, and you should have me on more. I'm joking.
well, I mean, that's one thing I have in common with them, right? Um, oh, look, there are people who know about Rob Roy.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
was Scorch, right?
yeah, You're
Yeah.
right.
James
James
Bishop is
Bishop.
the yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. See, so well, if James Bishop agrees with what I said, then that means I'm right. Okay. That's how it works.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
sure, sure.
Um,
Yeah.
um, so so this is completely out of left field, right? Have you done anything on with Chat GPT?
No, I can't.
No.
I can't wrap my
Why?
head around that stuff, man.
Oh, it's interesting.
I'm sure
It's
it is, but like I'm
it's
gonna wait until see like that, and I'm not saying it's the same, right? But like, see, now I'm sounding like an old man. I'm sounding like you. Like like that, and like NFTs and crypto or whatever. Like I'm
Mhm.
just so confused by it. Like I don't even I'm very ignorant. I recognize this. Okay, I recognize this. But like an NFT gives you ownership over like a a form of digital media, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone look it in the chat. But you got to pay for that ownership. And can I not just find a similar image or the same image on the internet and then like print it out on a piece of paper?
Right.
And like now I physically own that. I know it's not you don't own the rights to it, right? But
Yeah.
no one's gonna stop me from printing out an
Yeah.
art piece and putting it in my amazing home gym, right?
Yeah.
It's just shameless plug.
Yep.
But yeah, I
I
can't
get
get
it.
into that
Well, yeah.
until
Well, I mean, again, right? Yeah, not all of it is going to make sense. NFTs don't make any sense to me. Crypto, Miguel was the one who first talked to me about crypto. It doesn't make any sense to me. But Chat GPT makes a whole lot of sense to me
okay.
simply because I'm interested in words.
Yes, you are. And I could
You
see
see?
how that speaks to
Right?
you.
I'm interested in words. So I'm interested in seeing what this artificial intelligence can do with words.
Mhm.
And then I'm even more, well, not more, I'm just as intrigued by the whole text to image.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah.
So this one that pissed me off that nobody asked anything about, right? I said, I need a picture of Bruce Lee looking in the mirror.
And that's what popped out?
And that's what it gave me.
Wow.
And like you, I looked at the sideburns and I go, that's not a reflection.
No.
Right? But now to me, it's intriguing. Where did AI go to come up with that? Like, that's
Mhm.
what I want to know, right? If you scour, I want to know what the methodology is behind how it scours the internet and then decides, okay, this is the best that I can do.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
I'm sure that dependent on which platform you use, you can probably get even better quality stuff than that one. I mean, I've seen some stuff, but I'm really interested in in how it's there's some interesting stuff out there. Like you can you can ask it. Well, they let me do it for free because for a while they let me do it for free. But you can ask it to answer a question, and you can ask it to use a certain tone, like an
Oh.
authoritative tone,
Mhm.
right? Or then you could ask it to use like a fantastical tone or whatever, right? And then right? And the most, not the most, but it's very interesting to ask it questions about yourself,
Mm.
right? So I
Sure.
found out, I don't know, I think I've said this before on the show. I found out that I trained with Bruce Lee up until 1993.
That's intense, Sifu. You
Right?
got to let
Yeah.
everyone know your secrets to that
And
one.
and after 1993, I became a student at Dan in the Sandals. That's what I found out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. That
Right.
that checks out. Yeah.
So yeah. So what it means is that we're not yet at the point where AI can take over because it's not
Right.
accurate enough. It doesn't
Mhm.
know enough stuff yet to to replace the humans. But
Mhm.
it is if you use it for, have you ever heard the term um, useful but incomplete information?
Probably. I mean, I can't
Yeah,
say with absolute
right.
certainty that I've
Yeah,
heard the phrase.
okay. So in some aspects of marketing, that's a thing that you put out. You put out useful but incomplete information,
Okay.
right? Another thing that you do is you tell people what to do, but you sell them how to do it. You ever heard of that?
No, I
Yeah.
haven't.
You tell them what to do, but you sell them how to do it. Okay.
Okay.
AI does a lot of that. AI gives you a lot of useful but incomplete information. And a lot of times it's incomplete because it doesn't know um,
All.
it doesn't know everything.
Mhm.
Its training hasn't. See, I knew that one of my copyright and marketing friends would show up,
Carlos.
right? Yeah, show the what, sell the how. You
Yeah.
see, yeah,
Yeah.
right. So people like CLRG, well, not like him. People who are not as talented as he is in the copywriting world are scared feces lists about AI replacing them, right?
Mhm.
When you're at CLRG's level, you're not. You understand how to integrate it. You understand how to turn AI into a tool, right?
Mhm.
So that you remain indispensable, because that's the thing, you know.
Mhm.
So stuff like that. So you see what we just said there. You could go to Chat GPT and you could type in, "How do I make myself indispensable to my family?" You could go, "How do I make myself indispensable to my martial arts students?" I swear to you, you can ask it stuff like that,
Mhm.
right? And then you just might get one or two ideas that you didn't think of yourself.
Mhm.
That's making it a tool
Sure.
rather than sitting back and having it replace you. I don't think as martial art instructors we're ever going to have to worry. I don't think
No.
robots will ever be able to do the job that we do. So we don't have to worry um, right now. It's only when the robots become sentient, right? Right? In fact, I talked about this on the podcast too. I don't know if you remember this. I asked it something about Jeet Kune, and it said that since it's a language model, it doesn't understand nuance and subtlety the way that a human who spent time with Bruce Lee would understand it,
I think I remember that.
right? And I thought, well, AI has a better understanding of Jeet Kune than some humans. Because there are some humans who don't understand the nuance and subtlety of Jeet Kune in any shape or form.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. At least AI knows its limitations. Anyhow, right?
Excuse me.
Right. So
Mhm.
anyhow, so listen, I want to thank you for rescuing me um,
Oh, hardly, hardly.
and giving me somebody to share my Friday evenings with, because I live the weekend life of a hermit. I'm like,
Me too.
yeah, I'm like Sam Smith, that idiot. I'm so disappointed in him. Um, he has two songs. I was telling somebody the other day. He has two songs. The lyrics
Okay.
of which I enjoy. In one song, he says, "When I go home, I tend to close the door." And I was like, "Yep, that's me, right?" And then he has another lyric that says, "The truth is, I'm better off on my own," right? And I've come to learn that too, because this is too much for most humans to take.
It's
Right?
sure, sure.
Right. So I want to thank you, Russell, for saving my Trinidadian butt this Friday and giving me
Oh,
somebody
I'm
to hang out
sure
with.
if you had done another open Q&A, it would have been just as fine.
Well, that's something that I'm looking to make as exciting and as anticipated as we can. Because again, the podcasters that I envy, right? Um, people are people are gnawing at the leash, right, to be let go, to pump questions to them and what have you. And I'm like, that's good stuff. But
Hmm.
again, these are what? These are people who know the internet inside out. They know it backwards,
Hmm.
right? And I'm like, okay, let me keep an eye on let me keep an eye on this and see how it goes, right? Okay, all right. So, did we answer the question? What makes Jeet Kune Do? You think?
You got my perspective from it. We talked about so much stuff. I don't know if you like directly um like gave your point of view, right? Or gave your answer to what makes Jeet Kune Do.
Um, in a nutshell, that is the answer is in the question. JKD is what makes JKD, which sounds like a whole lot of nonsense. But look, you know what I will tell people. I go, look. I think if you want to have definitive answers as to what constitutes Jeet Kune Do, that answer is in September 1971. Black belt, liberate yourself from classical karate. I think that is Bruce Lee's um, opus magnum.
Okay.
I think more so than anything else. And then, but here's the thing, right? So when you discover that there was more than one version of that, and then you can get your hands on the different versions, and you can read all the different versions, then you got to ask yourself, why did he settle on the final version? So
Hmm.
so you print them out, and you do a James Bishop, and you have them side by side, right? Right? You have them side
Right.
by side, and you go, okay, well, why did he change this and this and this and this and this? I think I'm as I spend more time and try to be as direct as possible, in explaining stuff, or even in the way you think about a Jeet Kune Do. I'm starting to think that liberate yourself from classical karate is the place. That's where the main answers could be.
Hmm.
But I could be wrong, or it could just be my way of looking at it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Right? All right. So what are you gonna do now when you get off the airwaves
Uh,
with me?
I have a private to teach at 4:30 my time, so in 20 minutes, and then I have
Okay.
my group class an hour after that. So,
You work on Friday nights. What's wrong with you?
what's where do you want, like, insofar as martial arts goes, or
Yeah.
just in general?
Yeah. Monday to
No, there's
Thursday.
nothing. There's nothing. So here. Friday night is the night where most people go and do whatever they want to do, right?
Mhm.
That is what I want to do. I want to go out. I want to help the base community. I want to spread the love of the
Ah,
art first,
great answer.
because if
Great
you if you
answer.
oh, thank you. It's almost like I had good teachers or something. Um, but like the big thing for me is, one, helping out the base community and providing quality instruction, right? I don't want to just like give out trash, because that just produces more trash.
Mhm.
um, so for me to go out to the base community and have other people who on a Friday night will come and train, means they're like-minded, and there's also a certain passion for it, right?
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
I can continue to light that fire in them, or put them on a path, right,
Yeah.
then and I'm having fun doing it, it doesn't cost me a thing, and it helps them find their way wherever it may be, right? And it
Mhm.
just helps spread the love of the art, and if you spread the love of the art never dies. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think your setting is, I don't want to say different, but because the setting it sometimes can be what you make it. Because there will always be people who want to train on a Friday night. There will
Mhm.
always be, right? But from back in the days of running a professional establishment, um, what was discovered is that the majority of your people are not interested in Friday night classes,
No, they're not.
right?
It's one of my lower attendance classes. I will be
Right?
honest there.
Yeah, they got stuff to do. But Saturday morning, yes, a bunch of people,
Really? A Saturday morning.
a bunch of people will want to have a weekend workout, right? So it was that way for a long time. And then one point I came across this, I can't remember her name, but she was a phenomenally successful Shotokan karate instructor in California.
Hmm.
You know what was one of her most popular sessions? Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. That's
Sunday
church
morning,
time.
right? And
Right.
hear this. All right, I swear to you, this is what was said.
Hmm.
Because it is when the single dad has the kids, right?
Um,
And needs something to do with them. So
that's the reason.
if I remember correctly, right? So yeah, I remember here. I did Sunday morning classes. I was like,
Yeah.
man, that's weird, but apparently it worked for her. But again, what is that? That's just catering to your demographic.
Yes.
You
Yes,
know,
it
if
is.
she found out through market research that there was an inordinate amount of single dads that had their kids that needed something, right?
Hmm.
You know, it's like the family class thing, you know, or running. You know, you have your kids classes, you have your adult classes, but then you have your family class where
Hmm.
you know the family that kicks together sticks together, right?
I like that. I'm stealing that, just so you know.
It's not my. I got that probably from Stephen Oliver or something from back in the day,
All right.
right?
Well, I'm gonna steal it from you after you've stole it from someone. So,
Yeah, right. But of course, now my critique of that was that you couldn't, because there were people, if I remember correctly, who ran their entire school that way. So everything was a family class, right?
mm, okay.
But to me, it's like, no, I'll do that maybe once a week, twice a week, or whatever.
Okay.
Right, we'll have everybody trained it because we used to have I mean we did have entire families training at UMAA, but we had the smallest kids in junior in Little Dragons. Then
Hmm.
maybe we had an older sibling in junior JKD, right? Then we had mom in fitness kickboxing, and then we had dad in adult JKD or what have you.
Hmm.
So we could do a family class because my thing about um, critiquing the family class approach was in terms of having that as your primary thing was that's where you're putting the art above the people because it's like, well, everybody's a white belt. So if you're 4 years old
Hmm.
and then your oldest sibling, there was a 10-year gap, so your oldest sibling is 14, and then mom is 34, and let's say dad is 44. I'm making up these numbers. Obviously, no family would be like that, right? They're all white belts. So you can put them all in the same class because all white belts must learn the same white belt material. But you can't run the entire school like that because a
No.
44-year-old does not learn the same way that a 4-year-old does.
Hmm.
So that was my critique of that. Although the idea of the family working out together, it's kind of cohesive. There's a lot to be said for it. I just wouldn't run the entire school that way. That's
No.
what I want. That's what I was saying.
No, I agree.
Right?
I agree. I
Okay.
had
All right.
families training together, but they were in separate classes. So,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you're down to 11 minutes, I think, before you got to do your.
about it's all
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
They'll just they like me enough that I could be late,
No.
but
No.
I
No. 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 No.
no,
No.
I got to
Because
maintain my professionalism. I didn't say that.
exactly.
I didn't
And
say
then
that I could be late. I didn't say
right,
that.
and then
That was clearly a joke.
somebody will blame me for it, and I can't have that.
Oh
Right?
no! All right. So for
Okay.
my students watching, blame somebody else.
All right, Russell, thanks so much, man. I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
spending some time. All right, we'll do it again for sure. The
Absolutely.
fourth time will be the charmer. The third
There you
time's
go.
the charm. The fourth time is the charmer. Right?
Right.
All right,
There
man.
we
Take
go.
care.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Talk soon.
Yep.
All right. That was episode 258 of the Jeet Kune Dialogues. So you guys know the deal. If you're over on the YouTube, like, subscribe, consider becoming a sponsor of the channel. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D Woods. At paypal.me/unifiedma Miami. That's where you'll find the Jeet Kune Journey Volume 1. PayPal.me/unifiedma Miami. If you would like to support the show, you can go to jkdrebel.com /store or click on the Rebel Gear link, and that's where you'll see stuff like this. The Jeet Kune Notables coffee mug, also available in garments, t-shirt, sweatshirt, long sleeve, short sleeve, hoodie, all that good stuff. But definitely, best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the Jeet Kune Dialogues. I will let you guys know during the week about if everything works out. Absolutely special guest for next Friday, but keep your eyes on the YouTube and Facebook to see about that. Okay. All right. So that's it for me for until the next episode. You guys have a great weekend. Talk soon. Take care. Be safe.